Hi guys, hope you're having a great night. I wanted to film a review tonight, just one, not my usual set of several, because this is a little bit time sensitive, and I'll explain why at the end of the video. Well, there's a sale going on for it. I'll just say it now. There's a sale going on, and I think this is a really unique, fascinating smell, edgy, interesting. It's going to push some people's limits, but I think in a really good way. So I wanted to introduce a new house, introduce a new perfumer that I'm almost certain you probably haven't heard of, and introduce you to one of his scents. The house that I want to talk about is MadHat Scents. And you can either Google MadHat Scents, or you can just click on the link in the drop-down box. Of course, I always have links down there. This is not actually a bottle or anything, it's just a sample in sort of an apothecary-like dram size bottle that the perfumer and creative director of MadHat Scents sent me. This is the scent I'm going to talk about, and it's called Fur. So the perfumer over at MadHat Scents is a wonderful guy. I've corresponded with him pretty extensively via email. Very generous with his time, and it just so happens we haven't had a chance to have a really long conversation because of our work schedules, but I really, really want to talk to him about this, but I wanted to share it with you guys even before that. So his name is Ryan Eugene, by the way. And Ryan over at the MadHat Scents site describes Fur as a combination of vintage musks, snow-laden conifers, and a bed of hot amber coals burning inside the desolate trapper's cabin somewhere deep in the Alaskan wilderness. So if that picture evokes a smell for you or excites you, listen to the review. I think you'll be really, really interested in what I have to say. So I really love a good narrative-driven fragrance, and I think that sentence, how he described it, really sort of sums up what Fur is all about. Fur has notes of castoreum, hyraceum, which is the petrified excrement and urine of a rodent-like creature called the rock hyrax. And no, that's not a joke. You can look it up yourself. It's a note in perfumery, not too widely used, but it is used. Several vintage musks, Fur Absolute. Fur is in the tree, not the, hair. Leather, vanilla, incense, cinnamon, cedar, honey, amber, sandalwood, birch tar, benzoin, pine resin, tobacco, clove, vetiver, and guaiac wood. So a very sort of man's man, even though I think women could probably wear it. Why not? Very sort of assertive, smoky, resinous kind of animalic musk, as I'm going to describe. So Fur, I think, was created for that true blue lover of animal musks. The perfumer, as I said, Ryan Eugene, really generous and thoughtful guy. Actually thought it was so off the wall that he didn't want to put it on the MadHat Scents site because he didn't think that it would be able to speak to enough people, and he thought it would just sit there in his perfumery unpurchased. But I'm really glad he decided against doing that and decided to, make it public. So, as far as what it smells like, this is going to sound really weird. That's my ice maker, I'm sorry. It's going to sound really weird or maybe even a little offensive, but I mean it in the best way. This smell, Fur, is what you get if a Randy Beaver was to try to mate with a pine tree or a fir tree. The musk is there, but the musk is quite strong, but it's tempered by a kind of semi-green tar-like pine resin that evokes the idea of the Alaskan wilderness, which is, like I said, the picture that he's painting. There's also a kind of creosote type note in there. Creosote being that compound that's left behind when you burn something. It's got that sort of incense, that dark incense kind of smell. Kind of resinous that sort of wafts up from a dying fire when everything is just burning down to an ember. The combination of musks is really stark and bright and beautiful and very feral, very wild, but not off-puttingly wild, and certainly not unwearable. I've worn it several times on colder days, and it really, really works well. It kind of jumps off the skin, and it has a nice long life to it as well. As it dries down, the sweeter notes of benzoin and vanilla start to come out on my skin. And there's also this beautiful Hieracium note. Bet you've never heard those words before, right? Just kidding. In all honesty, I actually have no idea what Hieracium smells like. But whatever it does smell like, it works very nicely in the composition of fir. The performance compared to the work of many other independent perfumers that I've had the pleasure of trying over the past few months, whose EDPs and EDTs especially, because it's kind of unfair to compare oils to EDPs and EDTs, is above average. The performance is above average. If I'm not mistaken, Ryan only sells fir in an extrait. Go to the site and double check me on that one. I didn't actually include that detail in the review, but I think it's only available in an extrait, 15 mils. It lasts about 4 or 5 hours on my skin, which is fine in cold weather. I mean, I'm not going to ask the world of a scent. And, sometimes there are days when you don't want something to last 10 or 12 hours. And for me, that's most days. I don't want some people having me smell like a beaver's ass. And there's a nice scent cloud around me for 2 or 3 of those hours. So great performance, great sillage. As I was saying, fir is available in a 15 ml bottle for $57.99. And here is why I'm posting the review. There's a $5 discount through March the 22nd, which I believe is Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. So, if this sounds interesting to you, you're probably not going to have a chance to get a sample on your hands and then decide whether you want to buy it or not. If this sounds interesting to you, just jump for it. I mean, I certainly would have. You can get on his website. I think there's only a limited amount left, and just grab a bottle. His bottles are very sort of handmade looking, and they're also sort of a work of art in their own. The musks in this blend this is another reason why I think you should go and just grab a bottle. The musks have been painstakingly sourced from some guy who it was apparently really hard to get products from. So he may not be able to make it exactly this way in the near future. So even if you just grab a bottle to serve as a testament to yourself concerning how great some perfumes can be that are being made by people who are virtually anonymous in the perfume world, who don't get the attention or the credit or the love that they deserve, go check this out. A hearty recommendation goes out for lovers of musks everywhere who might appreciate having their limits just pushed a little bit in the direction of something that makes a really unabashed statement. for this is really an unabashedly beautiful perfume. Like I said, the website will be in the drop-down box. And he does have 4 other perfumes to browse through if if fur doesn't sound like your thing. There's one called Oudi, which is a beautiful, dusty, dry, rosy oud. And there's one called Ruik, which is a rich, sort of zesty incense with notes of hinoki, which is a Japanese mushroom, and colophony, which is a kind of pine resin. No reviews of those yet, but I can really attest to the beauty of both because I have samples of both, and I will eventually post reviews of both. So I wanted to get that review out, so if any of you animalic musk lovers out there wanted to go get your hands on a bottle before it's gone forever, you have the chance. Okay, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.